Just grab them in the brisket.
So my conscience did get to me the other day when we did this whole like Jan steals ice bit, whatever.
You do steal ice.
I
It's
know,
not a bit.
I know I do steal ice. When I divulge that secret information about my life, right? So I go to the store like immediately, like a couple days later, and in my mind I keep thinking about it, right? And then I told the lady, I was like, oh shit. I was like, let me get some ice too. She's like, 1 bag or 2 bags. I go, oh, just one. And
How many did you take?
I got 3 bags. But listen, I did pay for one, and then we're all masked up, right? We're muffled up. I could have said 3.
Was this HEB?
Nope, it was Kroger's.
What if when she was ringing it up, she was like, sir, that will be 85 bags of ice. For
Right.
all the bags of ice you stole. And you're like, what? No, that was not me. Like,
we have you on video.
We have you on video.
Right.
You're the ice man.
Either that or go to jail.
Listen, I don't know. I also did this one, which I thought was really good. I went into the store and purchased like a gas station and purchased like beer and whatever else. And I walk out, and I'm like, oh, I forgot ice, right? And I walk back in, and there's like 6 people deep in line. I just yelled at the dude. I was like, hey man, I'm not waiting in line again. I'm gonna steal your ice now. And the dude was like, he just put his hand in the air. He's like, all right. So I walked outside, grabbed 2 20 pounds, threw it in the back of the truck. Boom.
Oh, not 1.
2
20 pounds.
Yeah.
And that's gas station ice. I thought you didn't steal gas station
Well,
ice.
this is the one up here with the dude that somebody told me I couldn't pee that one time.
Oh, Brad?
Brad. So we're even now. And I told Brad about the podcast as
Yeah.
well. So hopefully he listens to this.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Shout out to Brad.
Brad's
Shout out to
awesome.
Is that the dude with long
Hey.
hair at the gas station?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That dude's awesome.
So I went back
Yeah, it's cool.
like a month later or 3 weeks later, and remembered he was there. I was like, "Hey, listen, I was buying ice and then a beer and whatever." And I was like, "Oh, by the way, ring it for an extra bag of ice, because
Only one?
well, I'm not paying for 2, but ring it for an extra bag of ice." Because remember that day I came in here, I got one. He goes, "Oh man, don't worry about it." I was like, "Dude, Brad, you're pretty cool, man. Thank you."
Solid.
Yep. So,
Oh,
boom.
that's awesome.
It's awesome.
So they're making you feel better about stealing ice.
I think that was just him saying you can have a free bag of ice.
You get a free
Every
bag of
single
ice.
time you
It's-
come here.
I don't pay for ice now. I just go there, get ice, and leave.
Oh, I don't know, but I love this music video.
He said, "Do whatever you want." So, yeah. Hey, here we are.
Here we are, grabbing the brisket podcast, guys. Hey, gals, the people. We appreciate you guys tuning in and listening along. So how's everybody's week been?
Pretty good. Had a little
Fast.
Kings Biergarten trip.
Oh, man, that was fantastic.
It was good. Yeah, it really was. I really appreciate the invite.
Do they?
How good was it?
Do they have Bud Light there?
Really good. I don't know if they
I
do or
don't
not.
think
Yeah.
they do.
Did anybody ask?
No.
It was too. I would be too ashamed to ask.
Yeah,
to
we
be
were
honest.
drinking good beers, so
It's on like the Texas bucket list. If you're in Texas, going through in this area, it's like if you want a really good place restaurant, it's on that list to go eat at. Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
we didn't. But I know they're like one of the top ranked.
It's listed as like one of the top restaurants in Houston to visit.
And as
So-
far as like Oktoberfests go in the U.S., I think they're up there when they do their
One of the top German restaurants in the United States.
yeah. Places
2013, they were the top German restaurant in the United States.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So you said that. Well, I saw the pictures of the remodel and stuff like that. So it obviously looks a lot more open. Because I remember just being, very tiny and cramped in there.
Yeah.
So what's the new
It's
location?
definitely more open. They got a lot more space.
More
they
contemporary, I guess you would
Yeah.
say.
It's definitely more contemporary. It did lose a little bit of its like charm for me.
Yeah, I think
little
what they're saying as far as more contemporary, I think what they're really actually saying is they sold out.
No.
No, he's trying to
no.
make it more family friendly.
And he made it more to where you don't have to eat German food. Now you can go there and if you want, get a burger. There's a burger on the menu now.
So he sold out.
It's an Austrian.
Maybe he did.
It's an Austrian burger, though.
Maybe it is. But I think it's awesome because you can still get all the same German food. It's all cooked the same way, but they just added a lot of twists and stuff that
Yeah.
it kind of pleases everybody.
I appreciate that. I love that, but I feel like it's good for now. But another year down the road, from there, it's just going to keep going south. Next thing you're going to have a slide and a little jungle gym outside and
No,
all
it's
that
not.
good stuff.
I'd be there every week if they had that, and I could stick my
Right?
kids in that way.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, though. No more heavy-breasted women walking around.
What?
They
They
got
just
rid of the
got t-shirts
outfits.
now. Yep.
No more outfits. No more German. What do you call them?
Lederhosen?
Lederhosens?
I don't know. That's for the
That's a
men.
man,
I don't know
yeah.
what they call it for the
Dresses?
women. Yeah.
So is this definition like they went corporate basically?
I don't know.
No, I think.
don't
Well,
know.
we asked the girl. She just said that it was a lot cheaper than because I guess they were buying those dresses and stuff from Germany and having
Yeah,
them
they
shipped
said it was
over.
hard to
They're-
get
they're
them. I think.
handmade.
It was taking
Yeah.
like way
Yeah.
too long to get them in.
That's because it's authentic.
But I hope they bring
Yeah.
that back
Shit
because
look
I mean,
good.
that does
That-
take away from the authenticity of
the charm of that place.
the
was-
German charm.
So
I get it though. They're trying to stay in business. That shit was probably expensive.
But
Well, then with the corona
good.
and all that shit, yeah. So hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Let's talk about the glassy-eyed, maybe a little smiley, happy people that showed up after the German restaurant was done. I know you guys polished off a couple of liters of beer, and I was looking at all you guys, and you guys are like, "Oh, y'all are feeling good." Just
It was
smiles everywhere, just
we did leave there feeling good. Yeah.
Yeah.
glassy-eyed, and all that good
Two
stuff.
and a half liters we had.
2.5
2.5,
liters.
yeah.
Yeah,
I love-
John was sitting there, like the ground's moving from underneath me. I don't know what's happening here.
He never even made it to my house.
I was in your yard.
I saw you in the yard and didn't see you in my house though.
Well, I love drinking out of those big glasses, right? I don't call them
Steins.
steins, right?
Yeah.
But a liter stein, just holding that in your hand and just chugging it, a good dark beer, dude, that was so
I
good.
feel like a man.
Yeah,
But you feel
Yeah.
like you have to drink it a little bit faster because they get warm.
they do get warm.
And they don't serve them super cold to begin with.
No, it's served at the correct temperature. I
Right,
think.
right.
Yeah.
No,
No, they actually brought that up. I was watching on Facebook. They posted the little video of the whole renovation, and they said one of the complaints they got was that people thought that their beers weren't served cold enough. And they said, well, this is the temperature you're supposed to serve these beers. So like the middle ground was they were going to serve it in like a cold mug.
Oh,
or
I saw that.
something.
They had a
I don't
new
know if that really
frosty
makes,
mug thing.
Yeah, I don't know if that really makes a difference.
Yeah, that frosty mug won't be 55 degrees and
Yeah.
I don't
10
think 55.
seconds.
That
I think they need to soak that mug in some liquid nitrogen and just let that thing get down to like sub-zero. So
Can't
when the
even
beer
touch the
hits
handle.
it,
Freezes
it's just
to your hand.
boosh.
I don't know, man. Like that
Little German mitts to hold it.
I honestly had no complaints
the
last night.
Dunkel, right? That's what we had.
Yep.
We
That's one of the ones we had.
the Warsteiner Dunkel.
Yeah.
Really good, by the way. If y'all are anything about it's a German, I believe, beer or Austrian beer. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's German. But if you get a chance to try it, try that one. It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were in Houston or anywhere in the area, go check that place out. It's good.
so is the car wash still there or
Oh, that's been gone for a while.
that's been
right.
gone? I hadn't been there in a minute,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, if you guys probably don't know, but that's how this whole thing started. Is they started as a car wash, and then on Thursday, so they were giving out a free sausage or something if you
Yeah.
got your car washed, and it just grew
Blew
into
up from
this
there.
blew
Yeah.
up balloon.
awesome thing.
Yeah. Hey, that's a tribute to how great, the United States, the great America that we live in, is somebody can start a freaking car wash and offer like some sausages and build like this freaking empire that they serve, the authentic German food and the beer
We've
and
got
all
a
that
couple
stuff like
locations
It's
too.
got to be
Now they-
good though. That's the thing.
that. Exactly. It has
Got
to
to
be
be
good.
good.
But you got to work hard.
It's-
And then now that's branched out to a couple of locations, I think, in the greater Houston area,
The
which
Heights, I think they got a new one.
Yeah,
over
the Heights
there.
is-
phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shout out to Kings Biergarten, man. That's cool.
Local sponsor of the Grabbing the Brisket podcast. Thank you guys.
Soon, very soon.
They only feed us in schnitzel and
Start
Exactly.
some German
Dunkel
90
beer.
second beer reviews.
Get some Bud Light, and I will visit your establishment more often. I promise.
Schnitzel was a bomb, though.
dude, that pork schnitzel was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
I used to love Wiener Schnitzel, man, in Lubbock. Lubbock, Texas had the Wiener. I mean, I guess all the area.
Those are that's a hot dog
It
stand.
is a hot dog stand.
Jeez.
But the Wiener Schnitzel was the best.
Okay.
That's his favorite German restaurant.
But it's the name. What is Schnitzel?
They serve chili dogs, brother.
What is Schnitzel? though?
Sausage.
Yeah, it's more like a fried, like a
It's
What is
like
that,
a
pounded piece of
It's
meat.
a pounded piece of meat, like a cutlet,
like a pork chop or something
Pork-
that they pounded out.
chicken cutlet that's pan fried, breaded.
Yeah, it's not a wiener.
It's the place is called Wiener Schnitzel.
Yeah.
You get chili on everything, even in your drink,
Love it.
pretty much.
Just like In and Out.
So, this past weekend, I was watching MTV, and before I go off on my rant about MTV, but I was watching MTV, and it was the MTV Classic. So I love how they they've designated a classics to where they actually show music videos. And I'm like, you pieces of crap. It's like, I remember back in the day, MTV was just like music videos, and it's me coming off a little like, oh, you're old, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, fuck you guys. But
Who's the oldest motherfucker in this
right,
room?
you talk about like the I'm going to say garbage, the trash TV that MTV's putting out there. I don't watch it. I mean, if you put music videos on there, I'll watch it all day long. It could be new music videos. I will watch it. Great. But anyways, I was watching it. I think it was retro pop, whatever. And they I guess it was Sir Mix-a-Lot. Baby Got Back came
Love
on.
it.
I was like, boom, that's my jam. There we go. And I'm sitting there watching the video. I think Jan was there. I think Amy, I think Aldan's wife might have been there or whatever. So it was going, we're watching Baby Got Back. And I was like, okay, I love this right now. I'm watching the video. I'm like, it's taking me back. But I'm like, I'm actually watching the video. I'm like, I don't
Something
remember
doesn't
this video being the same as it was. This video ain't hitting as hard as it was hitting when I was like maybe going through high school or whatever. And I'm looking at all these girls. I'm like,
Something smells rotten in Denmark here. Something doesn't
none
add
of
up.
these girls have back.
Really?
None of them had a booty.
If you go back and look at that,
This might be, hey, for the people listening that want the barbecue talk, hey, it's coming. But none of these girls had booties. I'm like, I don't know why I said it like that, right? Booties.
booties.
I mean, if you gotta say it, you gotta
Right.
say it.
And I'm like,
No.
all right. And then went through the whole music video. I was like, I mean, love
Dude,
the
they
song,
were
but I was
all-
like, I feel like I just been lied to my whole freaking, not childhood, but my younger youth. Like, I mean,
Sir Mix-a-Lot lied to everybody
Adolescence.
because he doesn't like a round thing in his face. He likes skinny girls. That's what he
that's
likes.
basically what his video said.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
I don't know, because he said 34, 24, whatever, 36. Only if you're 5'3". That means he likes it thick.
Yeah, but you see all the girls in the video?
didn't see any of the video.
Yeah, they weren't that in the video apparently. So
No.
I'll tell you what, I'll reach out to him. We'll have him on the show next week. We'll ask him all about it.
That's
We should,
Mix-a-Lot,
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Love
grill
that.
him. We'll
Love it.
grill him about that shit.
And MTV sucks. Bye.
yeah. Screw MTV.
So the other weekend we were over at Jan's house, and Jan, hey, kudos to you, man. You threw down, dude. The breakfast, the pancakes, the sausage, the bacon, the tacos that you produced, super awesome.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I cooked that shit. Well, I cooked the potatoes.
Yeah.
Kind
But
of.
one question arose. One question popped up that had a couple of people kind of like debating. Either you do it this way or you do it this way. And I'm going to ask you, and I'll put it out to the people and ask the people that are listening along. Does syrup belong in the refrigerator or does it belong in the pantry?
Like pancake syrup?
Pancake syrup.
Refrigerator.
No.
Pantry.
Yeah, pantry.
No
I'm
way.
not gonna put cold ass syrup on a hot pancake.
That's what makes it taste so good.
and it makes it thick. It's not good.
It's
Yeah,
really
I don't
good.
have any issue really with it being cold because I would put cold ketchup on my shit, or mustard or whatever else. I don't know. Yeah, syrup's a pain in the ass to get out already. So if it's like freaking cold, it's too much work.
And it's
Nothing-
thick.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. It's like
It
200
is
get out.
thicker, but you're missing the point here. So go home and try it. I mean, I really tell you to do this because what happens if you put cold syrup on, it doesn't just flake and run right into your pancake, right? It doesn't like not flake, but it doesn't just absorb right into your pancake or run right off your pancake, right? It stays right where you put it. It sits on top as it warms up and butter's melting at the same time. Everything kind of goes into it. Just makes it better.
But does it?
It does. I
I
said
don't
it
know.
both ways.
So you're telling me cold
Yeah.
syrup and
What did your kid say?
butter. So the butter will melt, but the cold syrup will heat up at the same time.
Yeah, it gets
The
room
pancakes
temperature.
that hot?
Yeah, it comes right off the grill.
Get outta here.
What did your kid say?
No, she's traumatized now.
She said best pancake she ever had.
Well, why don't we ask the experts from the International House of Pancakes how they do it?
Those
I'm
international
pretty
house-
sure they do either room temperature or they actually warm it up.
I don't know what to tell you guys.
Okay, I do understand, and I do see Jan's point about
The butter even has to be warm for me.
I do see about the syrup itself. When you put warm, hot syrup on a pancake, it just sits there and just glides off the pancake, and it ends up on the side of the pancake. It just pulls up, correct?
I think it absorbs.
It absorbs
Some
a
will-
little bit.
some will
Some of it
absorb.
will.
And then the part that doesn't, you just
You have to
dip
scoop
it.
into it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Oh my god.
Right.
Now I'm hungry.
But what if the syrup is just still there on top of the pancake,
Yep.
and you don't have to scoop into it?
Just stays there.
Let's be honest. There's no freaking difference. It's going to be the same either way. It's
No,
going to taste the same.
Yes. Also, if you fry your pancake in bacon grease, right, and get a really good crispy edge, and whatever else, that actually helps keep the cold syrup on there as well. These are tips and tricks that I've been doing for years that have really made me the best pancake maker.
Well, that's why you're
I mean,
so
are
well
you
known
guys
for your
ready
pancakes.
For the expert advice on the syrup now?
Sure.
You put the syrup on the plate first, and then you put the pancake on top of it.
Matt, you're a freaking genius.
Then you don't have any running or anything. It's boom right there.
I like it.
You ready?
But no, then you
Just
got-
blow your mind.
What did you have?
Then you got dry ass pancakes sitting on top.
No, you flip it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, well, if you put the syrup on top, then the bottom of the pancake's dry. So if you put the syrup first, then you put the pancake on top, you still have one dry side, no
Nope,
matter what.
That's not how you do it.
You dip and
You
flip.
put it on top.
You can flip if you want.
You put it
You
on
put the
top,
extra
and then you
syrup in.
cut it. And then when you cut into your pancake, take a bite of it, then you dip that part on the top of your pancake as well. And you have both sides. Boom, eat it.
I'm going to put this out on our social
Pancake.
media.
Put it out.
Pancake's not
We'll
supposed
put
to
it
be
out there,
dippable.
guys. Hey,
It should just be on what's on there.
syrup. Do you put it in the fridge or do you put it in the pantry? And we'll go a little bit farther, and we'll
I
put
feel
it out
like
there.
this podcast is going to break up after this conversation
What
today.
what other
This is going to
condiment?
be bad.
What other condiment do you think that probably people either put in the fridge or put in the pantry?
Butter.
What about honey?
You leave butter out?
I believe one
I've
stick
been
of butter
leaving it,
out
yeah.
in the dish.
Yep.
The rest of it's in
I'm
the
okay
fridge.
with that. Yes.
Cover in a covered dish. If I walk in the kitchen and that dish is uncovered, I throw it away and put a new one in. Clean it out. Because that just grosses me out.
Or what about eggs?
Well, it depends. If it's like fresh eggs and you have a chicken in your backyard, then yeah, you're supposed to leave them out. If I buy them at the store, they're going in the fridge. That's about it.
Ketchup?
What if you buy the
No,
chicken
no
at the
fridge.
store?
My you don't put it in the fridge?
Nope.
Yeah, neither does Aunt Tony.
Ketchup?
So we have two at our house. One
ketchup?
that's in the fridge and one that's not.
What?
Ketchup.
Yeah, it goes in the fridge.
Yeah, that's what I say.
So does mustard
Yeah,
and jam.
and she argues that, well,
Why?
they don't leave it in the fridge at the restaurant. I'm like, that's because they're clearing out a bottle or two a day. You know, they're going
Right.
through it.
Another
So
weird.
I'm not-
another, oh, go ahead.
I'm not agreeing with Jan, but I do like dipping hot fries into cold ketchup.
Oh,
Yeah, that makes sense.
So does hot pancake and cold syrup.
That's different.
You guys can't see me rolling my eyes, but it just
agree to disagree, but
It
great
went
topic.
all the way around in John's skull and came back around.
All right, I'm going home. This
Yeah.
is
I do
this
think
is nonsense.
It's a fun topic.
So we'll put it out to the people. Let them
I actually
decide.
I actually do like combination of gravy and ketchup, hot gravy, cold ketchup. It's very very good on the same French fry.
Is that a Southern thing, mixing gravy with ketchup, or is that just an Aldan thing?
I've never heard that in my life.
Really?
So
You need to try it.
I've heard ketchup and mayo, but I've never heard of that. Mayonnaise is another thing.
I was going to bring up mayonnaise, but
It's got to go in the fridge.
No,
What is wrong with you?
it doesn't have to. Is what I'm saying.
does
I
not.
put it in the fridge because I like to have the mayonnaise cold.
it does
but
not have
it
to
won't go bad.
Well, nothing has to go in the fridge, but things should.
Yeah, these like especially Hellman's. I mean, it's not made with egg anymore, so it doesn't. Oh, I mean, a lot of mayonnaises aren't made with egg, so it does not have to be refrigerated.
Yeah. Unless you're like making it yourself.
So we all know that lawsuit that happened between the old lady and McDonald's, to where she spilled coffee on herself and ended up suing McDonald's and winning a bunch of money. So I think we referenced this earlier on one of the podcast episodes, but I thought I'd go a little bit more in detail and get your guys' thought about this whole process, because apparently this thing's pretty warranted. So from what I found out, or what I've read and researched, at that time, McDonald's actually served their coffee at 180 to 190 degrees.
It's almost like 212 is boiling.
It's
Right,
almost
almost boiling.
boiling. And at this particular time, I think they had a bunch of people complaining and getting burnt and all that stuff. Like, have a lot of like complaints that were lodged against McDonald's, but they didn't do shit. They're like, hey, I don't, whatever. So according to McDonald's, why they knew the coffee was hot. According to McDonald's, why they kept it that hot was to keep people from getting refills.
The free refills, right?
Yeah, free refills. Because if they kept it hot enough, it would take you longer to drink it, and then by that time you're
out of there.
you're piecing out. So
Well, that's messed up.
Right?
Coffee can't be that expensive anyway. It's all profit, right?
I would assume. I mean,
I guess when you have 1 billion restaurants.
Yeah, but they're making like millions of dollars a day on coffee, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to cut into their
Well,
profits that much.
But think about it. It would cut their profits for sure.
A little bit, but at the expense of burning your customers? Seriously?
Okay. So
this lady that got into the lawsuit, she ended up winning, and I mean it was just a mountain slide of evidence against McDonald's, and they're like, we're gonna pay out. So the judge awarded this lady, I think, $3.2 million. Do you know how he came up with that sum? $3.2 million.
No.
It was the amount of coffee sales in one day with McDonald's in that particular, I guess, year.
Wow.
Huh. Well, I bet they're making a lot more than that now.
I am
Yeah.
sure they are.
So 3.2 million. So yeah, let's say they're doubling their coffee consumption, right? But only getting charged for the first charge. They could be, say, 3.2 million profit. They could be making, $1 million profit a year in whatever, or $1.5 million.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been that drastic.
Maybe not.
But
Yeah.
Now, didn't the lady put that coffee like in between her legs to
Yes.
drive away, and it spilled on? So, is she not at fault a little bit? Who gets a fresh cup of coffee and puts it right between her legs?
I don't think it was that she got burnt. I think it was the degree she got burnt by it. Like, it was way too hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did she get hot and bothered?
She got paid, is what she got.
But at what expense?
I wish that'd have been
Yeah.
like kinfolk or a family member. I'm like, dang, we're rich. Look at us.
Guarantee she's probably broke now.
We're in the money.
But
She's probably dead now.
that
Yeah.
started a whole bunch of other lawsuits. Like, well, I'm gonna go over here and test the taste of this coffee, test the heat of this coffee.
Well, you're looking for loopholes at that.
Right.
People
Let's go
for
see
handouts.
Let's
Yeah.
go see what Burger King's coffee temperature is at. Ugh, I spilled it all in my face.
Yeah, how many people
Right.
after that were just dumping coffee on themselves?
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why when you go anywhere now, you get cold coffee.
Yeah, right. That's actually funny. I actually never even thought about that, to be honest with you. As far as, to me, it sounds frivolous. I feel like coffee's hot, and had it been served at 150 degrees versus 180, we'll be talking about this. You know,
Right. It's not. Yeah. Of course, it'll burn you. It's just probably the degree that she got burnt.
exactly.
Right.
I got a coffee maker at home, and it puts out like Keurig or whatever you call it. The little
The bun,
An
the
espresso.
We got a Keurig. The damn thing brews some hot ass coffee. That water's piping hot. I feel like suing my wife every time she makes coffee. I'm like, damn it, I'm suing you.
Imagine that. Imagine going to a hotel, not you personally, but having people complain at a hotel because the water is too hot. You know what I mean? Like, well, introduce more cold water to this thing. Common sense comes into this fucking thing, man. There's some dummies out there that are just looking to make dough.
I wouldn't necessarily call them dummies.
Right.
I mean,
Well, that's true too.
they are savvy.
they're doing.
They
That
know
is
what they're
true.
doing.
That is true. But yeah, there's people that complain about water being too hot, like at the at hotels or whatever. Well, turn some
What?
more cold water on, dude.
What movie was that? What show was that? A movie or show where the dude slips in the the store, right? The floor's wet. There's no like
That
thing
would be
up.
Friday.
Friday?
Is
Is you
that-
talking about?
Yeah.
Is that Friday?
I'll settle out of court right now.
It ain't wet over there yet.
Right.
$20 and a 40.
It's hilarious. That
We'll
Chris
sell
Rock?
out of court. Yeah.
Ezekiel.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Classic.
That's hilarious.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about steak. Let's slide into our steak series.
SEARies.
Never going to get old.
SEARies.
Exactly. Trademarked. So last week we discussed some fun facts about steak, kind of a brief rundown of the most popular cuts of steak. So the most popular cut of steak comes from the loin area of the cow. So if you guys that are following along, it's kind of like the lower backs. Like, so if a cow would just like jump up on its hindquarters and decide to like walk on all
Hoofs.
twos or whatever we were saying. It's the lower back.
Yeah, lower back.
okay.
Yeah, just above the butt. So, and the round area, which is kind of the lower hip area. And then, I mean, honestly, like technically, you can cut a steak out of any muscle in the cow. So, I mean, we've seen, tri-tip steaks and
Right.
Roasts, and pretty much any roast, you can probably cut it into a steak. So we won't go into that. I mean, obviously you can do that, but we'll just go with like a brief rundown on just the popular cuts
Right.
of steaks.
The cuts you should be eating.
The
as a
cuts that
steak.
you should be eating, correct. So first on the list, T-bone. And the syllabus that I put out to these guys that they can sit there and study and learn this information or whatever is T-bone versus porterhouse. And we kind of discussed it a little bit last week on what the difference is.
Right.
And there's a little bit of a difference as far as where this particular steak comes from. So if you look at the loin area of where this cow comes from, there's a point side, which is like pointing towards the head.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a fatter side, which is pointing to the butt. So the T-bones come from the point side. So that's the very beginning of this cut of steak.
Right. Closer up towards the head.
Closer towards the head. And as you start cutting into it, you start getting into the porterhouse, which gets a little bit more further into that tenderloin
I gotcha.
that you guys see when you see these massive porterhouses where it has the strip steak on one side and then it has the massive like tenderloin on the other side.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
if you're at the grocery market, the grocery store, and you see these steaks and they're reasonably priced, pick them up, dude. You will not be disappointed.
Do you think the T-bone steak was hyped up by IHOP doing the T-bone steak and eggs thing?
No.
You sure?
I don't
I think
know,
that's the only
hyped
time.
up, but
I think that's the only time I ever had T-bone was at IHOP.
Why? You're probably right. I mean, I know we used to cook them all the time. I love T-bones for the meat that's right up against the bone.
yeah, I agree.
It is so freaking flavorful, and if you cook it right, it could be so juicy and flavorful. Hands down, I mean, it's hard to beat. Not to mention, after you've finished that, then you can fashion that bone into a self-defense weapon to protect you against other invading animals. I'm just going a little bit off. I mean, you can't do that with a ribeye.
You've been watching too much Law Abiding Citizen.
Yeah.
Remember that movie, Gerard Butler?
So that's pretty much the T-bone and porterhouse in a nutshell. I mean, you guys, try it out for yourselves. We'll slide on. We'll move to the next steak. What do we got, guys?
I know. Can we go back for a second? Because two things we'll address here. One is yes, the T-bone is a good steak. I mean, all steaks are good steak, right? Let's say that. However, there's no way in hell I'm going to compare a porterhouse and a T-bone in the same family. It's not happening. They look the same because they're boned in the same way and whatever else, and I get that, but I'm buying the porterhouse all day long.
Well, of course, it's better.
But-
It's got more tenderloin, but they are in the same family. I mean, they're very similar.
It comes at a cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, one has the fillet and a New York strip.
One
and the other one
costs
has
more
a
than the
sirloin
other.
and a what's the T-bone have? A sirloin.
It has a strip. It just doesn't have as much of the fillet on there.
It's pretty much, it comes from the same portion of the cow. So you imagine this big, huge, just like muscle with the
Yeah.
T-bone. The first couple of cuts is going to be T-bone, and as you start getting back into here, you're going to get into the porterhouse, which is going to have a larger selection of the fillet.
Yeah, way better.
But
And
you get into that section of the cow, then now you're talking about like a pretty penny. You're going to pay a little bit more. For people that probably might be on a budget or cannot afford to pay that extra couple of dollars a pound on getting a couple of porterhouses, maybe they might opt to get a nice looking T-bone or whatever.
I get that. I understand that. I thought maybe we're like, okay, well, if you get a chance, you get either one of them, check them out. I'm like, no, get the porterhouse. You're going to love it.
Well, true.
And then the other thing was, did you say IHOP actually made the T-bone famous, Aldan? Is that what you said?
I don't know. I asked a
Steak
question.
and eggs have been out for like, not from IHOP,
I
but
asked
steak
a
and eggs,
question.
yeah, been out forever.
I only heard it from IHOP though.
Yeah, but they serve those paper thin ones, right? They're like
Half an inch at best.
not even, yeah, half an inch all the way across.
Yeah, had it not been for IHOP, I wouldn't know what a fucking T-bone is.
Really?
I think I don't know.
I love this guy.
Okay.
I haven't stuck my head up a fucking cow's ass to see where
Where the
all the
butcher
shit comes from.
Yeah, where the
you know?
butcher.
So I
I'll
take the butcher's word for it.
All
So.
right, Tommy boy.
Thanks, Tommy.
Yeah, thanks.
One of my favorite movies is what's the Cowboy Way? It's got Woody Harrelson and
Keith.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Yes. So they go into New York and they go into a fancy, like New York restaurant, and they say sit down and order a couple steaks. They're like, hey, and then the waiter comes over and he's like, "How would you like those steaks prepared?" And I think it was Woody Harrelson's character was like, "You mean cooked?" And the waiter was like, "My apologies, sir. Yes, I should have said cooked instead of prepared. How would you like those steaks cooked?" And he was like, "Well, just knock his horns off and wipe its old nasty ass and just sit it on the plate. I will give your instructions to the chef just as you told me," and then walks off.
You guys can imagine how I would like my steak. I eat raw brisket. You know what I mean? So I love my steak. Just about as blue as it can get. But there is a such thing as too raw.
Yeah, not cooked.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
No one's gonna argue that.
And I don't know what that is yet.
Alden has not found that.
I have not found it yet.
Alan's got 5 years before that parasite finally takes him down.
Right. We always been talking. And there's probably a lot of people out there that are listening. Our Granny Ruth, when she would cook, and she would season whether it's ground beef, mostly ground beef, in order to taste and like you season the ground beef before you start cooking with it. So she would salt, pepper, and then she would take a pinch off of the ground beef and eat it to taste to see if it had enough salt or didn't have enough salt, because I mean you can't
Before it was cooked?
before it was cooked.
Alan's over here drooling. Wipe that off your lip, man.
Yeah, but I mean that's how
the best.
that's how the people did it back in the day. It's like that's how you told, that's how you were able to find out if it had enough salt or enough seasoning. You just had to give a little taste to it before you put it on the grill, because once you're cooking it, I mean you can't do anything with it. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you, if I had fresh meat, I
Fresh
wouldn't mind
ground?
doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm not buying Kroger hamburger meat and eating that
No,
stuff
we
raw.
didn't. We lived in a real small town, so
It was a small town, and
fresh.
we got fresh processed, ground
Yeah.
beef and steaks and all that stuff like that. So
They were just knocking
It
the
was
horns
different.
off, wiping the ass, and grinding it up.
exactly.
Pretty much. I either have a 175-foot tapeworm in my body, or I'm okay. So I don't know.
That's
yet.
why you're so thin.
Maybe.
I need one of those.
All right. Let's talk about the I don't remember where I've heard this from. I've always heard like let's talk about the filet mignon.
Yeah, the filet mignon.
The filet mignon.
yeah.
I mean, if you go to a steak restaurant, just ask for a filet mignon. They'll know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, talking about the filet mignon.
Thanks for clarifying.
that's actually a
Thank
French
you.
word, isn't it?
John, bust him up with some knowledge.
Yeah, that's a French word. It actually means tender fillet or fine fillet. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Okay, that's nice. I did not know that.
It's a cut of beef taken from the smaller end of the tenderloin. So, the psoas major muscle.
Wait, what muscle is it from?
Psoas.
Psoas. Okay.
Psoas.
Sauce.
The sauce?
Psoas.
Major muscle in the
So
cow?
it's
It's a major muscle in the cow.
Oh,
so.
okay. Got it.
Yeah.
This is so funny. I feel like when you're saying this, like, sauce. So what he's trying to say, it's I'll spell it. It's PSOAS, major muscle, and that's definitely
They know. Don't dumb it
yeah.
down for them.
Yeah, I feel like the P is probably silent.
yeah.
Right.
So
That's why I said psoas.
I thought it was a typo.
yeah.
I'm going to ask Jess about it. She'll probably tell us exactly
So
which
how
muscle where
often
it
do you guys
is.
eat filet mignons?
Not
Me,
often.
it's extremely rare.
Not often at all.
Yeah. And when I do, it's like that little pre-made one you get that's bacon wrapped.
Right, and it's
It
on
comes in a
clearance for like
two-pouch.
$2.
Yeah. Whenever it's like on super sale, is the only time I ever have a filet mignon.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't ever
Probably
order
not
them.
a
Like
very
we
good
normally charge about $16 now, about $20 a pound. but this is about to go rancid. We're going to knock this down to chuck prices. And then you get in there, like, scoop that shit up. I'm cooking it right now.
Yeah.
Out in the parking lot.
Right? Calling the wife on the way home. Fire up the Weber.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if price wasn't an issue, then I would only be eating the steak on the next category we're talking about.
Well, hey, Matt,
Rib
go ahead and
eyes.
talk about the next category. What do we
Yeah.
got?
So ribeye comes from the rib portion of the
Ribeye.
cow, and it's typically cut. Cut typically comes from the best center portion or the eye of the entire rib steak, between ribs 6 through 12. I actually did not know that. I
Yeah,
didn't
you don't
know
want
that
ribs
part.
5
I
or
mean, it makes
13.
sense. The rib eye
Yeah.
is like the
Yeah, the eye,
Yeah.
right? Which basically what we talked about this once before already. I think James, we talked about this was that's where meat is graded from, right? Once they sample or look at the ribeye,
The ribeye.
Yeah,
yes.
Jess told us exactly
They'll
which rib
grade
it was,
the
but yeah.
beef
Yeah.
of the cow off the ribeye.
that's right.
yeah.
How many ribs does a cow have
23.
More than
on one side?
More than 12.
Right.
at least 12.
23.
I made that up. I have no idea.
They have at least 12 ribs per
Yeah,
side.
if it wasn't for price, I would eat nothing but ribeyes. I don't know what about
Let
you
me ask you:
guys.
would you do a choice ribeye or a prime New York strip?
Give me that choice ribeye.
Twice ribeye.
Choice ribeye.
Yeah.
Is
For
this
me,
a
it's
null?
a toss-up.
Is this a null and Ryan?
Is it me or there's a lot of goodness come from that rib area, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I mean, you get the rib eyes, you get the short ribs, you get the beef ribs.
Oh, those beef ribs. Oh,
I mean, that's just a lot of greatness just rocking right there in that section right there. So hey,
Thank you, cows.
props to that, cows.
Right?
I had a ribeye just now before coming over this episode. Cooked some ribeyes.
Cow has 13 ribs.
13
Right.
ribs.
That's what I said.
13 ribs.
Yeah.
So 6 through 12. Good. 6
Is
through
where they get the
13.
ribeyes.
Not good.
Yeah,
Think
you don't
about
want
it. You don't want to get a rack
You
of
don't want
rib,
that
little
13th
tiny
rib.
at the very end.
I wonder if
you
it's
know?
just because the number 13. Maybe it's bad luck. I don't know.
That is
Yeah, they always
absolutely-
throw that
is
one
it.
away.
That is
Yeah.
why they
Yeah.
don't do it. Yep.
Jesus.
Yep. I like that. All right, so we get into the last, well, not last portion, whatever. It's just kind of the selecting of steaks. So I'll go through this. You guys jump in. So picking out the perfect steak is going to come down to your own preference, obviously. So, and one of the things is like, okay, so cost does play a huge role in deciding which steak you're going to reach for, right? So right now, I mean, I'm living comfortably, I've worked hard to get to where I'm at right now, so I could probably afford go grabbing a ribeye steak or two or whatever. But I remember probably 10 years ago where I'm like, shit, maybe I just go and grab that like
Maybe I need some ramen noodles.
sirloin or
Right.
that whatever the grocery store is offering on the cheap bin.
What's on sale?
What's on sale and just scooping that thing up there and just lightly kissing that thing with heat, and then calling it dinner. You know what I mean? But obviously it's up to you guys. So one thing you need to look for is what, Jan? Marbling. I mean, when you go to pick out a steak, what are you looking for?
If you're not worried about price,
If you're not worried about price,
and you've already picked out the kind of steak you want to eat, right? You've already said,
Correct.
like, I'm going to have a strip, or I'm going to have a ribeye, or I'm going to have whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think right there you look at marbling. Like I don't really look at prime versus choice. I really don't ever look at select steaks, to be honest with you. But I will thumb through both sections, and I'll find the one that I like the best. But the marbling will be something that you look at. It would be like probably how would you describe that? I mean, you want the whole thing to be really fatty, but you want to have a good layer of striations of fat running through the meat.
Right. You don't want big
A
chunks
good
of fat. You want
distribution
little
of that
little
fat.
striations. It's a little different than brisket striations you're looking for, but yeah,
Right.
same kind of thing.
yeah, I agree with you 100%. So marbling is going to equal flavor, and it's going to probably equal a little bit more tenderness and a little bit more moisture.
Yep. And then forgiving when cooking.
Correct. So, and one thing we kind of learned with Jess, following along with Jess Prowse, and guys, if you haven't checked out the interview that we did with Jess Prowse, go back a couple episodes and check out the interview with her, and also Wee Man. I mean, shit was badass. But she mentioned like the redness. You also want to look like the redness of the steak, right? I mean, you're not picking up like a brown steak or something that's like red. It's like a light red, just about to turn brown or whatever, you're not picking that up.
If it's
right?
turning brown, but it's got that 50% off sale sticker on, I'm buying it.
You're like contemplating, like, has that been deprived of oxygen for a while? I don't know.
I'm on a budget, sucker, so I got to get that.
Exactly.
steak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They
So-
say, like, we've been
Some
through
people are that
college.
way,
We've done some stuff that we guys I wouldn't say proud of or whatever, highly proud of it. But hey, we made it, and we went. Jess taught us that there's a specific protein that's in steak that's called myoglobin. This gives the steak and any piece of beef its red color. So when you see the red steaks, that's not just like blood just sitting there coursing through the piece of the meat, just whatever. It's this protein called myoglobin that produces this red color.
Right, when you cut your steak open and that stuff comes out, it's not blood.
That juice, when you rest your steak and it just sits there and you got that pool of red juice sitting there, that's not blood. So people that are listening right now, I mean, tell your friends, tell your family. We all got that one friend that, I'm gonna get that steak medium, or
I don't like
I'm gonna get that well
steaks.
done,
Yeah.
or maybe medium well, but a little bit more on the well. I don't like the redness. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want the blood.
I've actually got a barbecue fail tonight that goes along with this. So
Okay, sweet. So tell them that, hey, it's not actually blood. Blood's already drained out of the cow. So all this is just a protein. It's a color that makes it look red.
knowledge dropped.
Knowledge
Knowledge
bombs.
Thanks, Jess.
Well, let me ask this real quick.
Yeah.
Bone in or boneless? Do you guys have a preference on that? Since we're talking about picking out steaks.
I mean, I usually get ribeye, and I don't know if you can get a bone-in ribeye.
I,
Sure you can.
I,
Yeah,
yeah,
I've
for
never,
sure.
I've never seen it.
I
Yeah.
prefer
I think it's
popular.
steakhouses I've seen it, but I never seen it like at
steakhouses.
the
Yes,
grocery
correct.
store.
I prefer a bone-in ribeye
Yeah. Oh yeah.
for the same exact reason that I mentioned earlier about T-bones.
I like nibbling on
If you
it.
get that cut right up to the bone, you're able to get that flavor. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to describe it for words or whatever, but
There's probably some science behind it or whatever, but I feel like, when there's bone in and almost any cut of meat, you get more flavor. It just tastes better.
I mean,
Just
we're
better.
dogging on that flaming.
They all
hot
had a
earlier.
bone on them.
and it's a little
At
bit,
some point,
and it's a
yes.
little bit more forgiving cooking if you have the bone with it.
Yeah, I may just be some type of animal or lunatic, but I love gnawing on the bone once it's all gone. Like
I'm
it's
gonna
the
go
best.
lunatic.
There's still
Makes
meat
sense.
and flavor on it.
There's bone marrow in there too.
I get it.
All that shit's good.
My basset hound does the same thing.
No, I agree, James. It's kind of funny. I typically don't buy ribeyes or steaks bone in.
You don't see them as much, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see them. I'll look at it, but I'll look at I like having that big fat cap on the ribeyes that wrap around, right? I love that cap. And then I know you still get that with the bone-in ribeye. I'm not saying you don't or anything else, but sometimes I feel like you're taking away, like that thing weighs something, and now you're charging more per pound for it. Like I'm paying for
You
the
feel
bone.
like you're paying for the bone?
Yeah, I don't want to pay for the bone. I'm like, take the bone out of there. So I think it's why I do buy the bone-in or boneless ribeye or bone-out ribeye. So that's my preference.
Not to go on a side story or whatever, but I think I bought like a pork butt one time, and I pulled it out and I went to the counter to the meat market, and I was like, hey, can you cut this into pork steaks? Yeah, sure. No big deal. Goes back, packages up, brings it back to me, cut into nice little, I think 1.5 inch pork steaks. Delicious. The pork butt itself was like maybe $9 or $10. I look at the label. It was like $19.
Yeah, dude.
I was like,
Hell no.
whoa, bro.
It's a hell of a service fee.
That is, I mean, I know you put it back there in that little saw and you like salt it up and repackage it, but that's not like double the price worth, right? I was like, of course I bought that shit because I wanted to eat it, but I almost put it back. I was like,
I had to put it back.
Fucking
Sold
assholes.
out.
Put it back.
You sold out.
So that happened to me, but it was $23. And I told the guy, I was like, hey, that's like $11 for the pork butt. And he looked at me and was like, well, it's when we cut it or whatever else. But I think he changed the meat out. I think he repackaged it with pork steaks they already have back there and put the pork butt up, whatever. So I was like, I'm not going to buy this. Sorry. I was like, get back to the dude. I went back and grabbed a pork butt, I think. I was like,
Went home, grabbed your sawzall.
right. Done. Fucking
Exactly.
bullshit. That's funny. I thought I was the only one.
Nope.
So now when you buy those, are you still paying that extra money?
Yeah. Well, now they're starting to carry them already cut up, where you can get those pork steaks.
For $19.99?
I think
No.
you said yes.
Definitely
No.
cheaper.
Oh, it's
Okay.
cheaper. Okay.
It should be.
All right.
And they used to be a freaking dirty ass cut of meat that where you can pick up super cheap. And that's why I used to buy that shit, because I could buy it for like a whole pack of that stuff for like $6 or $7. And I can come home and I can sit there and try different seasonings and rubs that we're doing for our competition, to sit there and try to figure out what tastes good with pork, so we can try to move that and have that translate over to our ribs. But now you want to start jacking the price up? I mean, nope. No, thank you.
Not
on
gonna
my
do
watch.
it. Not gonna do it.
I think that brings us to
90-second beer review.
I don't know. I liked it the first time. Can we do one more time?
No, we're not doing it
No.
any more time. We're
let
taking
me
the first
come
take.
in with the baritone and just like
Why are you ruining it?
Matt,
then
you were
you-
a little flat.
I'll go higher next time.
little pitchy Jan. We'll get it next time.
I hate y'all. I really do.
So what are we reviewing, anyways?
Well, let's tell you.
Yeah.
We've got Flip Flop Pale Lager. This is from Galveston Island Brewing, which I think we've had some other of their stuff.
Flip flop. What?
Flip Flop? Flip
Chunk
Flop Pale Lager. I could write it down, but you're
Oh,
looking
I'm
at
looking
the
at
can.
the back of the
Yeah.
can. I'm like, dude, it's not say flip flop.
Hey,
It says
flip flop
pale
over.
lager.
Yeah, they need
Okay.
like arrows on the can that says "Turn
This
me."
front,
This is
way.
the front.
The
Yeah.
front's this way.
So we've had a few of the Galveston, right?
I think so.
Yeah, Galveston Brewing or Galveston Island Brewing Company. It says we flipped a timeless German Pilsner with a floral, fruity American Simcoe dry hop. You heard that correct. It's Simcoe.
I think we've had that before. This is a 4.5% alcohol by volume, 23 IBUs.
You know,
Which means it's not that bitter.
I don't know.
no.
I know it's a
shouldn't be.
bitterness scale. I don't know where that falls. Does it go to 100? I don't know.
Yeah, the cans. Yeah, I feel like a lot of these cans are getting the same type of. You're starting to see more and more of the same type of hops in each can and whatever else. It's not a bad looking can. I think Flip Flop should have had something else on there.
I think you
Especially-
should have had like some flip flops.
Yeah, if you're coming from Galveston or something, that's where it's brewed on the
I'm gonna
island.
be honest. I mean, it looks like grandmother's hutch. That's with a little like nightstand. Does that look like just legs? Just
Yep, it does.
Just a wooden nightstand with flip flops underneath it.
It's actually one of those time, what do you call it? Like the little timer things you flip over and the sand falls through.
Yep.
Oh, it's an hourglass.
Hourglass,
Yeah.
yes, I'm sorry. Yes, that's what it's supposed to
loaded.
be.
Okay, so from the distance, it seemed a little bit different. So yeah, it's an hourglass that's filled with wheat.
And hops on the other side, yeah.
And if you turn the can around, it comes out as hops.
Yeah, if you flip flop it.
Jesus.
It all
I
comes
see what they're
together.
doing, but hey, it's pretty clever there, Galveston.
I don't know. It's not a bad looking can, I don't think.
No, it's not. It's not bad. I'm just seeing a lot of these cans look the same way.
Yeah. Says it's BOI,
Yeah, brewed on the island.
brewed on the island.
That was super loud.
Was.
Yeah. Let's taste it. Let's see what we
Yeah,
have.
let's
here.
do that. Smells a little citrusy.
Smells like Shock Top.
That's your go-to
It
reference
is,
for
right?
these.
It's every one of them.
It's nice, very crisp, very refreshing.
I just bit the hell out of my tongue a second ago, and it's starting to swell. So I'm starting to like talk like a little fat tongue or something.
Keep biting it.
It's weird. Yeah, it pisses me off, man. I'm so mad right now.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a
Especially-
solid little lager.
It could have something to do with the 500% humidity in here, but this is kind of refreshing.
It was very refreshing.
We're literally standing
Even
in a
as-
sweatshop.
Even as hoppy as it is, it's very.
But yeah, it's a little hoppy.
Yeah.
Is it hoppy?
I'm
Yeah,
not getting
to
any
me it
hoppiness
is.
Yeah,
at
it's a little
all.
hoppy.
It's light on the hop. I mean, if you know I kind of am starting to favor it a little bit, it's kind of light on the hop.
Yeah,
This is a good beer. This is a good, refreshing beer.
I taste a rabbit jumping in my throat. I'm telling you.
it's not
Hoppy.
super hoppy, but there's definitely a little bit of hop in there.
But you like it.
I do like it.
It's pretty refreshing.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is definitely the kind of beer you want to be drinking in the summer.
well, it's the kind of beer you want to drink when you're sitting in a sweat box as well.
Yeah, if you're recording a podcast and it's 633 degrees, this
Right.
is the beer for you.
Yeah, I think we saw like a demon jump out and run off on fire a second ago.
Yeah, it was too hot.
It was too hot for him.
This is a portion of the podcast where we solicit your
What?
fine patronage donations to help get us out of the sweat box that we're in.
Yes.
Now, listen,
If you know a fan that doesn't make any noise, just tell us about that. That would be fantastic.
I think
There's
the
two right here.
Dysons.
Are those quiet?
Yeah, because they don't have a fan. There's no fan blade.
Oh, crap. We need a Dyson.
Let's
We
go
need
ahead
to
and
record one of
we're
those
going to start
SPCA
a.
commercials and just have James in the back looking all pathetic. In the
Yeah.
arms of the angels.
I love it. Yeah, just
Today
sweating
we're-
everywhere.
Yeah.
Just
You for 39 cents a day, you can help this poor boy cool down.
Let's get into some scores here.
All right, damn it.
I'll go first. I'm gonna give this one.
Well, hold on, man. That's not fair.
No,
Why do you?
I'm doing it.
He's doing
Okay,
it.
You already
go
called
ahead.
it.
Go ahead. Go.
Dibs.
Yep, go.
I'm giving it a 7.4.
solid.
I like it.
That's a good 7.4. Like I would definitely drink this again. It doesn't have a whole lot of flavor, but it's just so damn refreshing.
I think it has plenty of flavor.
I think the flavor's right on point.
really?
This is by far is way better than Shock Top, by the way.
I'm right behind Matt.
90 seconds. Let's go.
I'm right behind Matt.
Good.
7.3, 7.4ish. I'm right there with
Good
you.
score, Alden.
Yeah.
Good score.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm going to go a little bit higher than that. I think it's super refreshing. It does have a nice little citrusy flavor. I think it's got a tiny bit of hops, but nothing that'll turn you off. I'm going to go like a 8.1.
Sean, me and you are like wavelengths right here. Boom, boom. Right. Right? I feel like you called my people called your people. We got our scores together. I'm an 8-1 as well.
There it is.
8-1.
That's fantastic. I cannot go any higher than the 7.1.
That's
Jeez.
still great. Hey, this is a great beer.
It's a
Alden
delicious
scored
beer.
it higher than you.
Yes.
It's a good beer.
Wow.
It is.
And it's cold.
Yep.
I don't get down to the hops a whole lot, but this is not super, super hoppy, and I'm not getting that bunch of like bullshit like grapefruit. You know, that citrusy grapefruit.
Yeah. They say it's fruity, but it's really not a fruity
Yeah.
beer.
Which is
No, it's not fruity beer.
This is pretty solid. It's pretty good. It's drinkable.
I would buy this tomorrow.
Salute to you, Galveston
won't.
Island.
He'll buy
Brewery.
Bud Light. Wes, you tasted this. You want to jump in here and give a score?
Come on over here, dude. What do you think?
Delicious. 8.5.
Okay.
There it is.
like that.
All right.
8.5. There it is.
right.
Yeah. Way to go.
He's on point.
So, overall, good beer. Probably going to be in the top
Great
10.
beer.
Maybe.
Overall collective, I think we give it an 8.0.
8.0. That's pretty good average.
Just kidding.
Ricky's car.
I think that's what it is.
Hey, no rookie scores though.
No rookie scores this week, which is guys.
Yeah, actually, is this the
Golf
first time
clap.
in a while?
Golf clap.
It might
yeah. Golf clap. Way to go. So that concludes the
90-second beer review. Man, that was perfect.
That's awesome.
yes. Yeah. Listen, guys, I love the intro and the outro for both of those things. I think we nailed it. I
Yep.
think that we're getting better. I could actually see a demo tape coming soon or something.
Yeah.
We should put one together.
The
maybe
best year 90 seconds.
Maybe submit it over to Rich O'Toole and see what he can do as
Right.
far as
Get on that label. What's the Buffalo something label?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I know we talked earlier a little about barbecue fails, and I love it. I'm not saying I love it because John, you're a nice guy and you do a lot of things right. But I just love hearing some of the shit you do wrong.
Well, let me just tell you first. This is not my personal fail, asshole. This is something somebody sent in.
Okay. Those are okay.
I do
too.
not fail. So
All right.
Portion of the show where we get to the barbecue fails.
Yes.
Let's go, John.
And folks, if you have a barbecue fail or a barbecue win or a barbecue recipe you want to share, send it in. We'll get you with the business here in a minute, tell you where to find us, but we want to hear about it. So this came from someone anonymously. They said do not mention their name. Maybe their family listens. I don't really
love
know.
that.
But
Honestly, who could it be?
That means it's a fake story.
I don't think so, no.
It might be
Is-
Mandy's dad.
We're gonna guess who it is after John tells the
All
story.
right, let's see.
Okay. He says, not sure if this is a barbecue win or a barbecue fail, but I have to remain anonymous! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
God.
Exclamation point!
Three of them.
I had to cook fillets for my sister's birthday tonight. My sister and her DB fiance. I don't know what DB stands for.
Douchebag, probably.
Oh,
Deadbeat.
douchebag. Yeah. Okay,
Deadbeat.
douchebag fiance. Don't like medium rare. This is always an issue for them. I always cook it too rare. I can't win, and I do not actually care. LOL. So I normally cook everything. Oh, I'm sorry. So I cook everything to 135 degrees. Normally, I stop at about 125. Let them rest for 10 to 15 minutes in foil in a foil covered pan. So they wanted to make sure that they were cooked and not rare. So they had me put them back on, and he felt like this was committing animal cruelty. But he put them back on his Yoder at 550 degrees. Those steaks did not come off until they hit effing 204.
Wow.
That's way overcooked.
Yeah, please do not charge me for animal cruelty. I'm so ashamed of myself for letting such a beautiful prime filet go to trash. I said nothing to anyone. I didn't even talk shit. I cannot stand this guy. It's like they expect me to talk shit, period. So I just don't say anything and it drives them crazy. I just kept the peace. So it was kind of like I just sat there watching them eat this steak like it had fallen on the ground, even though it hadn't. But they come out saying this is the best steak they ever had, like it was off the chain. So maybe this was a barbecue win. And of course, the steak he cooked for himself was epic.
It's a barbecue win for him because he got to witness craziness and absurdity.
Well, we don't know. Is it a him, her, who's cooking?
That's
steaks?
a guy,
Maybe.
right? Or a girl.
We
Maybe.
don't know. It's anonymous.
Okay. I'm sorry.
When did you send that in?
But we can all agree that whoever's doing the cooking and you're cooking for your fiance, you probably should just run.
No, it wasn't his fiance. It was his sister and brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or his sister's fiance.
Sister's fiance. Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The DB. Who was the DB? He was the DB? The cook was the DB?
I don't think he referred to himself as a DB. I think he referred to the sister's fiance as the DB.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think you just don't have him back over again. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Sometimes you don't have a choice, but I could tell that he felt bad about having to cook it as much as he did.
Right.
And then
You know
probably
what?
was like,
it's kind of
he liked it.
it's kind of a tricky situation because I mean, we all have those family members that, hey, I want that steak done well done.
Right. I want the myoglobins cooked completely out.
So
Remove
right.
all the myoglobins.
So I would say it's a barbecue win for the guy that got to watch the train wreck, right? It's a barbecue fail for anybody that tasted it and said it's the best steak they ever had.
Yeah.
Maybe it is, but that's so weird if it is. 204 is not a good steak.
It's a
That's
great
burnt.
brisket.
Great brisket. That's a burnt steak. Yeah, so I don't. That's a weird one for me. I don't know.
Congrats on them liking it. I'm sorry you had to go
Yes.
through that.
Hey, can you imagine going to a restaurant and they're like, yeah, how do you like your steak? I was like, yeah, 204, please. Talk to the chef. He'll know what I'm talking about.
Can you make sure you put a little A1 on the side?
Right. Yeah.
And ketchup.
I tell you what. Next time
Yeah.
they come
Do
over,
you
they're
guys have
not
ketchup?
getting a prime steak. They're getting a select.
Hey, how about chicken next time?
Yeah.
Do you even
Right,
get
right,
do you
right,
even
right,
get
right.
any au jus at a 204 degree fucking steak?
You get
nothing.
dry
You're getting
You
brick.
could have poured a bag of jerky on the
You
plate.
get beef
Yeah.
jerky. That's what you get. Beef
steak
jerky.
actually breaks in half.
So now you have steak fries that you can't use neither.
You cut into it and it's like
So you're
just
just not
turns to
eating.
dust.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a good one actually.
That was the barbecue fail for the week.
I love that. That's solid.
I have a different barbecue sort of win.
All right.
Let's
I
go.
got a new
Fire
Weber
it up.
grill today. I say new. It's
You
not
did.
new.
He did. I saw it.
It's a used Weber grill, but it has the Coors Light logo on it. So
It does.
I'm stoked.
It looked tiny strapped in
for,
your big ass truck.
It
too.
is. It's an 18. It's a 18
For
and
30
a half
bucks,
inch.
right?
$30.
You can't beat that.
No, it's cool. I'm excited about it. I'm gonna throw it in the camper and use it when we go camping.
Yeah. FYI, pro tip to you guys, hey, make sure you're perusing your Facebook marketplace because there's people just giving away
Dude, that's for real.
Weber grills for like $30.
Yeah.
Yep, on there all the time. Any final thoughts there, James?
I have one last final thought, and this might be it's a little
Oh, I'm getting choked
choke
up.
you
get
up?
a little choked
Oh,
up,
man,
guys.
It's okay.
Aldan, hit him up with the business.
What's up, my dudes? It's been a long time since I've been able to say that. Guys, you know the drill. Man, you can find us on Facebook, you know, all the Instagrams and Twitters and everything. I don't have to tell you guys what to do. You know what to do. But if you want to know, you know, Twitter, it's at Grab the Brisket. Facebook and Instagram, both one and the same, at Grab 'em in the Brisket. And you can email us at our website is www. I mean, you can go on and search the merch. Search the merch. That's the best part. Search the merch. Buy some shirts. Buy me a shirt. And yeah, it's www.grabthebrisket.com. And like I say, and reach out to us, guys. We will respond to you. When I say we, I mean all of us.
John.
Yeah, John.
James.
Pretty much John. So John and James. So like I say, guys, reach out to us. We love the feedback, good, bad, and indifferent, and we will reach out. So there we go.
Well,
I love that album.
and I think we should be posting, hopefully, some more recipes and getting those on there as well. I think that we could probably, we've got some together already that we haven't done or posted.
Yeah, we got
Right.
some. The SPG Plus, it will be coming
Right.
out probably in the next week or so.
That's right.
Exactly.
So that one final thought before we leave is not really barbecue related or anything, but I've been doing a lot of soul searching here lately.
No,
I
that's not
bit
good.
my freaking tongue again.
Can't
handle that.
No,
Just letting your soul glow.
my soul glow.
Let's
Hey,
hear it, Jane.
we got
Okay,
that comment that's
so-
coming too. So
Jan has a soul.
So I really feel like I'm probably suited to maybe run for office one day or something.
What he's saying is he's full of shit.
Well, what I'm saying is when we have to scrub some of these episodes going back because
don't say
Yeah.
nothing you don't.
listen, you may see my name on a ballot soon for Congress or something for this district. I do want your vote and whatever else. We'll go from there. Anyways, yeah, that's all I was going to say. Is if you start listening to previous episodes, you start noticing that they're like Jan's not in it, or some of Jan's things have been
Or
scrubbed clean
number
from the
three.
internet.
Number
Hey,
3 when you came out said, "Yeah, I was smashed at number 3."
Right, I was smashed number 3. Shit, I gotta say it. I gotta scrub this episode now. No, it's good. Congressmen get smashed all the time. They don't care.
That is very true.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get paid. That's all I'm trying to do. It's like, how can I just like do the least amount of work and get the most amount of money? That's it. Just run for office.
You become a
Love that.
criminal.
So
And just kind of sum that
That's
up,
how
I
you
think
do
what
it.
Jan's saying is go out there and vote for Grabbing the Brisket.
that's right.
Go out there to all your social media platforms, whether it's the Gram, whether it's Twitter, Facebook. I mean, I don't even know. Do you guys still use Facebook?
both one and
I
the
don't
same.
know what's happened, but they're
They're
both one and the same. So
That is
go out
true.
there, reach out to us, retweet our stuff, and just, hey, we love you guys. Thank you for listening.
Boom.
Later, suckers.
Thank you. We've been great.
Just grab 'em in the brisket.